another thing that history or things that I heard from some of my elders too is, or like my grandma, she talks about how growing up, or even before that, maybe her mom, so my great grandmother, coming from them, they could tell. They talk about how they could tell if a family was rich within the community, and and that's because the people that were rich, they could put egg whites on their pots after they were fired, and that kind of seals them, and it gives them a little gloss, and so sometimes the patina that you see on older pots, yeah, some of it's from age, but sometimes it's that egg white, that glow from the egg whites that are on the pot, and you find that on Coach T, San Ildefonso, Tusuki, and did I say Santo Domingo? But the four Pueblos, those four Pueblos, mostly were the ones that were doing that, and that even comes back to those Pueblos being closely associated, Coach T and San Ildefonso, Tusuki, and Santo Domingo. But they were so close in styles, even the materials. So like our black pottery that we do, or this red that's on here, our black pottery starts off red before it's fired, but it's the same red, the clay that we use, and even that, even though it's a Tewa style, the black, well, we get our red slip, we get it from Santo Domingo, so there's that tie and there's that connection. My grandma, when she would tell me, when they were growing up, that they would go, well, because they had family too, but in Cochiti, so they would go sometime after June 13th. They would leave Sanai by wagon and take a couple days to go down to Cochiti, and they would stay there for like a month and be with family and help with whatever, and then they would dance for like Cochiti Feast Day, and then after Cochiti Feast, then when they were coming home, then the Cochitis would come with them and come up to Sanai, and they would stay, for a month at Sanai. Again, even though there was language differences, they were able to communicate somehow. Martina and Florentino, our family has ties with Cochiti Pueblo, and for whatever reason, Martina and Florentino did move back to Cochiti, and then she did pottery there, but with their materials, and she later on, like I said, about 1905, brought that up to Sanai, and that's when they started using the Cochiti slip at Sanai or San Ildefonso.
Grandma experimented with other pigments and minerals.
I know she would go to Laguna and do some trading for the white slip. So I think a majority of her white slip came from Laguna. She made her own black.
The railroad did many things. It connected communities that were very separated for many years. But in particular, in Ysleta Pueblo, there was a railroad stop. It was a designated stop as part of that expedition. And right before the railroad arrived, there were some families that came from Laguna Pueblo, and they established Chacal and other villages on the outskirts of Ysleta Pueblo. And so there was traditional Ysleta potters that were producing the utilitarian ware, like what I've selected here. And the Laguna families were producing the decorated ware. And through that, there was an interchange between the Pueblos, and that gave rise to the designs at Ysleta Pueblo. But our pottery is undecorated historically. And so in the 60s, we had a delegation from Ysleta Pueblo come down, and they brought with them the knowledge of design. And that was the first time that design was introduced to our Pueblo.
And the great thing about that too is, like even back in the day, like the designs, they all cross paths. You got people from Zuni who got their ideas from the Pueblos up north, and then they would trade, probably more so trading the things inside pots, like seeds and different things. So that's important too, to know, what was inside the pots that was traded, and then also looking at the pots themselves.